Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm at the Madison Square Garden to watch the Rangers play the Capitals, and you're watching Post to Post. Woo!
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. And this video is going to be about the Rangers. I'm actually kind of excited about this video because the Rangers are a team a little bit like Detroit. I never really liked them my entire, I was going to say career as a hockey fan, but that doesn't make sense. But my entire time as a hockey fan, I've never really, for whatever reason, cheered for the Rangers. Never been a fan of this logo on their jersey. I just felt like there was never a reason to cheer for the Rangers. But recently, not so much recently, but I got a chance to actually visit New York City, and then I visited New York City again, and then I visited New York City again. Absolutely love the city. It's my favorite city in the world, and because of that, I slowly, very slowly, started to cheer for the Rangers a little bit, like a little closet, like not I'm not talking top 15 teams or anything here, but like slowly, and they've come up quite a ways. And they put out Montreal last year in the playoffs, my favorite team. And if you had have asked me before if the Rangers would put out Montreal, would I like them more or less, I would have said less, obviously, right? And it was kind of the opposite, actually. I found myself cheering for them a little bit against Ottawa in that second round. But I really feel like there are reasons to cheer for the Rangers this year, and probably not the reasons that you would suspect. Maybe the opposite. You might feel the opposite that I do, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end. I'm going to go through the statistics from last year, which we'll see on this side, and from this year's statistics you'll see on this side. Everything in green is an improvement from last year. Everything in red is not an improvement from last year. So there's going to be some numbers in here that don't totally match up with the end of the season, because I'm filming this before the season ends. But the numbers are so close, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. So anyways, let's jump into the numbers. So last year, if you look at the league rank, where did they fall in the league? They were 9th. They had a really great season last year. This year, 22nd. Now, I really want to talk about some of these storylines and talking points that I have written down here as to the reason why they fell down. But I'm going to resist. I'm going to save it till the end. Points, 102 points last year, 77 this year. Goals for last year, 253, 227 this year. Goals for rank, they were 4th last year, 18th this year. Goals against, 216 last year in 12th place, 256 this year in 27th place. That's a pretty significant drop. Last year they were plus 36. This year they're a minus 31. That is absolutely massive. I'm talking about goal differential. Differential rank, they were 5th last year, 22nd this year. Power play last year was 20.2. This year is 21.2. So pretty much the same there, which is great. They were 11th last year in power play, 13th this year. Penalty kill, 79.8 last year, 81.5, a little bit of an improvement. Still special teams. Of all the things that's gone wrong with the Rangers this year, their penalty kill, their special teams, power play, it's been pretty consistent compared to last year, so that's actually a good sign. Their penalty kill rank last year was 20th this year, top 10. They were 9th this year. Shots per game, 29.7 last year, 31.1 this year. That's an improvement. Shots per game rank, they were 22nd last year, 21st this year. Shots against per game last year, they had 30.1. That was their average. This year, 35.5. That's actually pretty significant. Last year in that category, they ranked 14th. This year, they were 30th, basically dead last in the league. Face-off percentage last year was 48.4. This year, it's 49.2. A little bit of an improvement. Last year, they ranked 22nd. This year, 21st in that category. So that's the general statistics of the team. There are more things that they've done worse. A few things they've done better. Face-offs, some special team stuff. But if we can just jump over to the players here, it's looking a little thin because half the team was traded away. But currently on the team, Zuccarello's holding the top points at 52. Zibanejad at 47, Hayes 43, Buchnevich 43, Kreider 37, Fast 33, VC 28, Desharnais 28, Shea 24, Shattenkirk 23, Spooner 16, Carey 14. The Spooner one doesn't really count because he spent the majority of his season in Boston, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. If we jump to goalies, Lundqvist played 62 games. He's got 26 wins, 25 losses. His goals against average is 2.95. He's got a .915 save percentage. Pavlik was their backup for the majority of the year. 18 games played, 4 wins, 8 losses, 3.12 goals against average, .910 save percentage. So if you look at Lundqvist, those are not Lundqvist numbers. He had a bit of a tough year, mainly due to the fact that the team in front of him struggled. Lots of changes. We'll talk about it. He still played really well, though. There's been games of the Rangers I've watched, and he's been unbelievable. Like true Lundqvist fashion, the king. And unfortunately, he's getting older. This year was kind of a waste for him, which sucks, but he's still battling at his age. He's still trying to get it done. He's still trying to get a cup. He could go down as the greatest Swede to never win a cup, which sucks. But this was an interesting year for a couple years because, and I could be wrong here, but I think I heard this fact the other day that he's playing games right now for the first time in his career that don't have playoff implications. The only other time that the Rangers haven't made the playoffs since he's been in net as their full-time goalie was 2010, I think the year was, and they only missed the playoffs at the last game in a shootout against Philly. So although they missed the playoffs in that last game, it did have playoff implications. This year, there is none. So it's an interesting change for him. And this is only the first time that the Rangers have missed the playoffs since Alain Vigneault took over, and I can't remember what year that was, but even before that, I don't think the Rangers have they've only missed the playoffs once since 2007, 2008, or something like that. So it's strange for Rangers fans to not see their team in the playoffs this year. And there's many reasons as to why, so let's finally jump into them. And these are in no particular order, just what I think are positive and negative storylines of the Rangers this year. The first being the McDonough and Miller trade to Tampa Bay, which involved a ton of people. McDonough, their captain. Miller, a very consistent player offensively. And both of those players, actually I've got a Miller jersey on right now. This is my new Adidas jersey. Both of those players find themselves on a team that is, I don't want to say the Cup favorite from the East, but you'd have to put them there. You'd have to put Tampa in the Cup favorite. I think Boston's got to be in that conversation as well. Pittsburgh always has to be in that conversation. But McDonough and Miller might have a chance to go all the way this year. Halfway through the season, the owner announced a rebuild, and he announced it as a letter or a press release to the season ticket holders and then the general public. And everybody was like, what? Really? Why are you announcing this now? Why wouldn't you wait till the end of the season and at least try to make something out of it? He felt like the time was right, so he dropped that bomb and shipped a bunch of people out the door. It was crazy. I personally liked the move because he had the balls to do something and recognize the faults of his team, recognize that changes needed to happen, and they needed to happen now, not 3 years from now when it's too late. So good on him. That's my opinion on that. The departure of Dan Girardi, I have written down here, really affected the team in a way that I didn't predict. I was never a big fan of Girardi. I didn't notice his absence on the team until he was gone. It's kind of like one of those old cliche sayings, you don't know what you've lost until you've lost it. Or you don't know whatever. You know what I mean, something like that. Anyways, Dan Girardi's kind of like that. You don't really know what you're missing until he's gone. And it affected the team. It really did on that back end. And then Nash got traded for Spooner and some other stuff. So we got McDonough leaving. We've got Girardi leaving before the season started. We've got Miller leaving and Nash, and then Grabner got traded to New Jersey. It was the first Jersey Rangers trade ever. And then Holden got traded to Boston. It was just a crazy year. And when they made the announcement they were going to do a rebuild or a retool or whatever you want to call it, the players verbally were upset, or publicly they were upset. They felt betrayed. They felt given up on. So I'm sure some of those players were happy to leave, to be honest, and some of those players were going to be leaving anyway because they were at the end of their contract. I think this was the last year of Nash's contract, but anyways, there was definitely some backlash there, for sure. The last thing I have written down here is kind of something I already talked about. The special teams remained pretty consistent, which is great news. It's been the same structure and style with Alain Vigneault for, I don't know, the past 6 or so years, and it's been successful. So it's good to see that that consistency of the special teams is still there. It's an interesting video to make because you can't really compare the Rangers to any other team in the league this year. So many things went on with the Rangers, but I think it's tough because you're not going to see them in the playoffs, but it's exciting in a way because stuff's happening. Wheels are moving. They've obtained a ton of draft picks. They're going to utilize them effectively, and they're going to hopefully bounce back pretty quickly. It's not going to be a rebuild. I know I said that a couple times. And I hate the word retool, but the media has popularized it now, so I guess I'll use it too. So the retool is going to happen, I think, a lot sooner than people anticipate. I fully expect them to be back in the playoffs next year. And I don't like to talk too much about the future in these report card videos, but I'll say that at least. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. Rangers fans, let me know down in the comments how you felt about this season. How did you feel about the retooling, if you want to call it that? How did you feel about Lundqvist's play? How did you feel about maybe some of your favorite players leaving the team, like Nash and McDonough and Holden? And what a crazy year. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do Carolina next. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I did Montreal, Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit, the Islanders, Rangers now, Carolina next. Then I'm going to hop over to the West and do those videos. So tons of videos coming out on this channel leading up to the playoffs, and then those playoff preview videos are coming up where I release some predictions. Then there's an entire bracket challenge video, or not challenge, entire bracket video where I try and predict the entire bracket. And we did this last year. My East last year was terrible. I did so bad, but my West, I did pretty good in the West for the first time ever. I predicted it almost exactly right. I had Anaheim and Nashville meeting up in the conference finals. I did have Anaheim moving on, so I guess I got that part wrong. But I did predict Nashville to get by Chicago and go all the way to the conference finals, so that's like the most proudest thing I've ever been of myself, as making that prediction. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for rambling. I'm sorry for the clumsiness of this video and these videos specifically. It's dry. It's not energetic. It's numbers. It's reviews. It's frustrating. I understand, especially if you're a Rangers fan or a fan of any of these teams that I've done so far. I appreciate you watching the video. I appreciate you watching any previous video, and I appreciate you watching the future videos to come of the report card series. I hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you're watching lots of hockey. If you like this video, please hit the like button down below. If you're new here, I hope you can hit the subscribe button and catch all the future videos. And I'll see you in those future videos. Adios, guys.